Afternoon, folks. Welcome back. I just got finished watching a show I dearly love. It's called America's Heartland with Paul Ryan. I get it on, it's the ABC out of Seattle, Washington on the satellite feed. And they did businesses and farms, rural-based in North Carolina, Tennessee, and they focus on those two states. America's Heartland with Paul Ryan, and I love it. There's something very special about rural areas. People of all ethnicities, Acadian, mainland Nova Scotians, Cape Bretoners, Dutch, whatever. You go to start in New Brunswick. You look at Casey Irving from Bucktouche. 50 years from now, when he was introduced somewhere, so gave one of his rare speeches, he introduced himself, I'm Casey Irving from Bucktouche. Well, in 50 years, I'll introduce myself as John Pettipas, and I'm from Trackadee. Now, so Casey Irving, the founder of the Irving Company, actually his father started out first, but to make it to the empire it is today, forestry, oil, and manufacturing, and steel, and shipbuilding. It started from the lovely coastal tidewater community of Bucktouche, New Brunswick. John Bragg, Oxford Frozen Foods, Eastlink, Oxford Frozen Foods, based in the lovely northern Nova Scotia community of Cumberland County community of Oxford. He's from Collingwood, Cumberland County. Mr. Gogan, the right-hand man to Frank Sobey, that many will say, and I certainly say, has put Empire in Empire Company. Frank Sobey's right-hand man, Mr. Jim Gogan, bless his heart, from Spring Hill, Nova Scotia. Robert Manouche, of Huguenot Protestant French ancestry from Leamington, little community of Leamington, lovely little community of Leamington, just outside of Spring Hill. He ran in industrial estates, brought Michelin tire, and lots of other good things to Nova Scotia. And Mr. Frank Sobey from Stellarton, the lovely northern Nova Scotia community, Pictou County community of Stellarton, but born in Linesbrook, Pictou County, Lyons. Linesbrook, Pictou County. Actually, his wife was from Linesbrook, but the Sobeys were rural people. We think of fine young fellow, and I think he's about 11. He's the youngest one I have on my list today. He's Marty Zwinkels, named after his grandfather. Fourth generation Dutch, and a beautiful, I think it's the biggest milk farm in the area, and he has his own YouTube channel. Got to watch out. He's going to have more subscribers than me before too long. He has lots of views in many of his videos, and just an extreme. He said when he was 9 or 10 years old, he could change the oil in his little kind of like a golf cart that he picks his corn with to sell in his corn shed. And he has his own YouTube channel. Extremely. He has two little sisters. They're extremely bright too, but exceptional fine young fellow. And his two additionally smart little sisters. We think of Mr. and Mrs. Rikers at West Bay Road, rural Inverness County. There's something special about people in rural areas. I just watched a piece with Paul Ryan. The third item besides the business he's focused on in North Carolina and Tennessee was 4-H. 4-H members are ages 5 to 19, and they learn citizenship and leadership, and to do a project on their own. They learn responsibility. I think of another fine, smart young guy. He raises chickens at Lower South River, Southside Harbor area, and I'm told he's been with his very smart grandfather in his truck since he was a year or two old. And he's now, I think he's 14 or 15. I think he's 15 next birthday. And there's just something special about that guy. I'm not playing favorites, but he is just not overly conversational, but is extremely bright kid. A bright young man now, actually. He's 15. He's not a kid. He's 15, going to be 15 shortly. So character. You learn character, and they tell me my cameras doesn't show the words, but the word I've written here in black is the word character. Character. C-A-R-A-C-T-E-R. These virtues are timeless. the character counts now more than ever. And we have an Antigonish County. I am in Antigonish County, as are 15,200 some plus of my fellow citizens. The town wants to take us over. I'm not saying there's not good people in the town, but there is an attitude in that town. I will say that without hesitation. There's an attitude in that town, and for something to work, it must be a fit. The late Albert Whitten told me as a 16 or 17-year-old young guy, he says, John, don't marry a do-nothing girl, because you'd never get along. Okay? He knew in a deal is done, you have to be common values. There's not one thing that makes any sense. Lots of things in town to get the county assessment. Lots of things there. Water assessment, land, growth, areas for growth, blah, blah, blah. But there's nothing in it for us people in the county. None whatsoever. From Auld, Cove to Ariseg, from Linwood to Loch Harbour. It's a fact. I'm going to repeat that. I kind of like that one. From Auld, Cove to Ariseg, from Linwood to Loch Harbour, there is nothing in it for the people of Antigonish County. And even if there was, I'd be against it, because you must have some compatibility. There must be some compatibility. John Bragg has a love of rural Nova Scotia. He went off to become a school teacher, and I think it was Mount Alice. In fact, I know it's Mount Alice in Sackville, New Brunswick. Came home. Everybody after World War II was going off to Ontario to work in the car plants or steel mills or mines. It was too late to go to Boston States, as they called it. Previous generation, they weren't frigging off to Alberta yet. And he thought, what's going to happen in these areas? All these small and medium-sized farms, and that was the genesis. Him and his late brother Doug, of the commercial blueberry business coming. Okay? And I just picked a few to point out. There's dozens and hundreds of people have stuck to rural Nova Scotia and done very well. Small town in rural Nova Scotia, and contributed tremendously. We think of a very private company, Mercy Seafoods, late Dr. Murphy, ran by his kids and their professional managers now. Dr. Murphy, the dentist from Liverpool, in Mercy Seafoods. They have big boats go offshore and get crab, or that's a crab, they're in shrimp. Shrimp is their main product. But anyway, they take in, that's a wonderful company developed from a small South Shore community. So character, these values and virtues are timeless. And it's just not a good fit. It's a different attitude in the town, and it's a very good attitude in the county. And so it doesn't make sense. And if they had any character at all, the mayor of Antigonish, no more than that, we're told is conveniently sick, unavailable. All this stuff we've been asked for years. Proof of vaccination. I'd like to see Owen McCarron's proof of illness. I just love to see that guy's proof of illness. I was at a meeting the other day, and there was several people in that meeting thought, isn't that strange? Just when he's supposed to come to Harvard Bushy, he conveniently gets ill. Just before next week he's supposed to come to Trackety, he's conveniently ill. Supposed to go to Headed, conveniently ill. Supposed to go to Plunkett, conveniently. There's some other ones. Isn't it interesting how they conveniently got ill? Okay, at that time. I find that fishy. Okay? And that's my opinion. I find it fishy. Anyway, there's character. Character in small areas. These, I've noticed them, be it the fine young fellow at Lower St. River, South Tide Harbour Road area, Marty's Wink, all these ones, they're both cases, one's I think about to turn 15, and Marty, I believe, is 11 or about to turn 11. They have responsibility for their chickens, their animals, milking, seeing a milk truck come and doing this, that, and other thing. And there's character. With that, I got to go. Character counts. And we have a fine county in Antigonish County, and we want to keep it that way. There is no need for us to merge. Lots of need for the the ones in Antigonish that lust. Lust, generally speaking, is not good. And they can lust all they want across the bridge at St. Andrew Street, or out the Beach Hill there, across the Trans-Canada, up the Post Road at the town boundaries, and let them lust all they want. Okay? You're welcome to come in the county and buy a property and build a house. How's that? The welcome mat's still out. You're welcome to come out in the county and start a business, buy a property, build a house, move. Welcome, the more the merrier. You're less than 5,000, we're 15,000 plus. The more the merrier. Well, welcome aboard. With that, I wish you all the best and God bless. Thank you very much. And you tell your elected officials you're paying their salary and you want a plebiscite. Thank you very much. Bye for now.